Hello and welcome to Life with Randy and Grace, living in full expression. We have a hot topic today, don't we, honey?
Yes, as far as you're concerned.
Today we're talking about music and memories, music and wonderful, wonderful feelings. I'm definitely a music person. I love music. I love to sing, much to his dismay. But yes.
I can't even listen to the radio. She's singing all the time.
I'm always singing. It's really, music is wonderful. So
I think it's wonderful too, but I kind of like the original artist. Not that you don't have a nice voice. But
yes, I try to stay calm in the car. But when there's a song on that I love, I'm carried away.
Well, we're really talking about music that brings back memories.
Right.
And, like you just said, you're much more of a music person than I am. I love music, but not to the same degree as a part of my life that you do. So why don't you start off and tell everybody, bring back memories for you about the Beatles?
Well, no, I'm going to start back before that. Yes. Okay. So I was born in 1954. But my sister and brother were 15 and 17 years older than I was. So
you were an accident.
No, it wasn't an accident. It was a second marriage. But
Okay.
But the point is that they were already teenagers when I was a baby. And so I grew up listening to their music. So in the 1950s, I was already, by the age of, 7 or 8, I was already singing all of those wonderful 1950s songs, whether it was Johnny Be Good, or whether it was Long Tall Sally, or You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog.
I loved Elvis. I did love Elvis.
So I just loved all of that. Earth Angel, Don't
How about
Be
Johnny?
Cruel.
How about Johnny Angel? I remember
Johnny
that.
Angel. I love Johnny Angel.
I remember that because I was the only one on the football team that didn't have a girlfriend.
Oh.
That's a very sad song for me.
And I wanna be Bobby's girl. I wanna be Bobby's girl. All that stuff. So yeah, I grew up with music, and I was singing. By the time I was 7 or 8 years old, I was singing. But of course, and that was definitely pre-Beatles. And to your point, I was never a huge Elvis fan. But part of that whole time era I did love. But Elvis had a lot of really, really great stuff too,
Yeah.
Don't Be Cruel.
Oh,
Jailhouse Rock.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So he was Love Me Tender. How about that? A lot of really, All Shook Up. I love All Shook Up. So I wasn't a huge... By that time, I wasn't a huge fan. I was buying 45s. Remember 45s? So I had definitely had a lot of 45s from the 50s. But I don't think I actually ever owned an Elvis record.
Really?
Really.
Well, I actually, not then, but now have a pair of blue suede shoes. But has nothing to do with the song. Nothing.
But he was definitely the king of rock and roll, right? So he was great. But by the time I was 9 years old, now by that time the Beatles are coming on the scene. So this is definitely my era, and I remember everything from the moment I heard "Love Me Do." Was the first song that I heard on the radio.
Was that before I Want to Hold Your Hand?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes, that was on, if you're going to albums, and I have every one of the Beatles albums. Then I really started getting into collecting the music, and
the later ones where they were druggies, like the Yellow Submarine.
Yes. Sgt. Pepper's and Yellow Submarine, but going all the way back to Meet the Beatles. And actually, that's when they went to Capitol Records, but they had one album before that was on VJ, and I have that album too. So, but yeah, and I remember, oh my God. So here I am, right? I'm 9 years old, And my sister and her then boyfriend, now husband, took me to my very, very, very first Beatles concert. And that was at the Forest Hills Tennis Stadium. So it was not as huge a stadium as their next concerts, which were going to be at Shea Stadium. But here we are at the Forest Hills Tennis Stadium. And oh my gosh, I felt like I could reach out and touch them. I couldn't, of course. I mean, it's still a big stadium. We were fairly high up. But the thrill of being there with the Beatles, it was craziness. And I love their songs, from Love Me Do, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand. I knew the words so well that I would even sing the German part. I didn't know what it meant, but I sang the German part. Komm, gib mir deine Hand.
Oh, whoa.
So it's wonderful. And that was a nice time, I think, in life too. It wasn't craziness like things are now. It was really, really wonderful. The 60s were a fun time.
So,
do you have a favorite Beatles song?
Yeah, I Want to Hold Your Hand. So what about who enthused you after the Beatles? Who would you say?
Well, I don't know.
Because you like Broadway, but that was later in life, right?
Yeah. I can't really say that there was a particular artist before or after the Beatles. Before and after, it was all songs. It was just the songs. And it's terrible because I can remember songs and not remember the artist at all.
Yeah, I think we all can.
I mean, the Beach Boys were very popular in those days too. But I don't have one Beach Boy album, I mean, and there were a lot of really good songs, California Girls.
That's interesting because you did back then like to go to the beach.
Back then, yes, I did. But that's not, I don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't like to go to the beach anymore. It's a little sandy.
I actually never liked sand.
Oh.
From when I was a child, I can remember that we were having a picnic on a beach somewhere, and I'm sitting on a blanket, and my father says, you want to go to the ocean? And I was like, yes. But the minute I stepped in the sand, I started to cry. And he picked me up, he carried me to the water. I was happy, and then he had to carry me back. So I never liked sand. But as a teenager, I certainly did like going to the beach, Jones Beach, driving to the beach.
Well, you're going to have to walk. I can't carry you.
I would put up with the sand because, again, in those days, in the 60s, I mean, it was all about getting suntan, burning yourself silly. But I'm blessed with very good skin. I really didn't burn. I just kind of bronzed. But all that music, oh, yeah. Beach Boys, Help Me Rhonda. That was a good Beach Boys song.
I like that song.
I like that song.
That was probably my favorite.
Right.
So when there's so many songs. There's just some that come to mind, and I don't have many, but one of them that comes to mind is "Cats in the Cradle." That song is so meaningful to me because I spent my whole life struggling between work and trying to balance family life and being with my kids enough. And it's tough. It's very tough. And I have to admit, I feel a little guilty. I had a job where I traveled internationally and was gone a lot, and that was tough. So, but Cats in the Cradle is all about that. What a great song that is. Great song.
Well, and then so that's the thing about music. I mean, it not only just tells a story, but they tell meaningful stories. So,
meaningful.
Some of the things that these artists write, I really wonder how did they tap into that? How do they get it all together and write it down? But because it does.
Well, there's another way I think songs enter. When I lived in Atlanta, when I was going to Georgia Tech, and I lived in an apartment, Rod Stewart was just coming on the scene. Now, I don't even particularly like Rod Stewart, but every morning they'd sing his hit, Maggie May. I couldn't even tell you the words. It has nothing to do with the words. It's just when that song comes on, it takes me back to living in Atlanta in that apartment because they played it all the time. That's nothing to do with the song. But isn't that crazy? So the song can be meaningful, but also just the tune can,
Absolutely.
from where you were at the time,
Right.
can bring back memories.
Absolutely.
Regardless of the words.
Definitely. With the 50s music, all I can remember is grammar school. And I remember having girlfriends over at our house and just kind of dancing together, all of those 50s songs, you know. And then, of course, when the Beatles era brings me back to slumber parties and, you know, just wonderful, wonderful things, you know. One of my favorites, I think, was 8 Days a Week, you know, talking about how much you can love someone.
Back
you
to
know.
the Beatles.
Yeah, well, I'm back to the Beatles a lot.
How about Broadway?
Yeah,
There's a lot of good songs that come out of Broadway.
Yes.
Like Memories out of Cats
Cats
is a good song. All those songs that make you feel like you're getting old.
You know, I definitely followed musical theater quite a bit. I can remember walking to school and singing many of the songs from The Sound of Music. You know, and I remember my mother used to listen to Art Linkletter. We are going back to the radio. It wasn't even television show.
Art Linkletter for singing?
Well, he found a girl. He was walking past her house and he heard her singing out of her window and she was discovered.
Oh, he discovered her. I thought you were going to say he married her or something.
No, he discovered her. Oh. So I decided I was not going to be afraid to sing out loud. Somebody might hear me and I could become a star. So, yes. You know, but just think about all those 50s songs of the heartfelt yearnings of young love, you know. Are you lonesome tonight? You know, return to sender when you're being rejected. You know, crying in the chapel. Those are all Elvis songs.
I remember all those rejection songs. That was a big part of my life, rejection. I was a little shy. It didn't work out too well. But it worked out in the end. Ta-da. Ta-da. Took me a while. You know what my favorite Broadway song is?
No.
I've never told you this. You don't know this.
I don't know this.
My favorite Broadway song, Send in the Clowns. Because every time I turn on TV and watch TV, I see clowns. So Send in the Clowns reminds me of life. The politicians are clowns. Everybody's a clown. Oh my goodness. Send in the Clowns. I like that song.
I have to say probably my favorite Broadway musical song is from The Sound of Music, and I Have Confidence. I have confidence in sunshine.
I don't even remember that.
I have confidence in rain. Wow. I have confidence that spring will come again. Besides what you see, I have confidence in me.
That's very good. I never heard that.
You never heard that song?
No, I never heard you sing it. So. And we like Billy Joel. We like Piano Man. Doesn't bring back particular memories.
Yeah,
but
we're not going that far back.
But it's a great song.
I think of that as almost.
Well, we don't want to stay in the 50s. We want to move up in time a little bit as we go.
Well, we talk about memories. I mean, and those, you know, I mean.
It's true.
You know, those are the big memory times for me. You know, songs from the 50s, songs from the 60s.
How about Night Moves? Did you like Night Moves?
I was going to say some from the 70s. So we get a little bit of the Gibbs brothers.
Oh, the Bee Gees?
Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
You know.
How about Jack and Diane? You remember that?
I remember that song, but I have no idea who the artist is. Do you?
No, I don't. But it was a good song.
You know. But yeah, I don't know.
Who sang "Take Me Home, Country Roads"? Was that John Denver? John Denver. I'm never crazy about him either, but that song a lot of people like that song.
Yeah, that's a very popular song. And then, of course, if we're coming all the way up, Neil Diamond. I loved his songs. And Neil Diamond, he was a writer. He was an extraordinary writer, and a lot of people sang his songs. And again, going way back to grammar school, I used to follow the Monkees, and that had already become a television show then, and that kind of was a takeoff on, the Beatles and their life and that kind of thing. But Neil Diamond wrote a lot of their songs.
That makes sense. Clowns, monkeys, kind of in the same theme.
I don't know. I didn't get that.
But I like Neil Diamond. He was good.
He was very good.
And you know who else we like? I like probably more than you is Frank Sinatra. I really like Frank Sinatra, especially when you're eating at a steakhouse or an Italian restaurant. He's really good. Dean Martin's great for Italian food as well. But, she told me, I didn't realize this, but Paul Anka was a writer and wrote My Way. Right. And then he became a singer.
Well, he didn't become a singer. He was a singer.
More famous,
He
but
he
was a good
at the beginning,
too.
he wrote a lot, and other people would sing his songs. In fact, he wrote My Way for Frank Sinatra. And it's interesting because I did like Frank Sinatra's music, but I didn't like Frank Sinatra. But anyway, it's interesting because when Frank Sinatra was first presented with that song, My Way, he kind of rejected it because he thought it sounded too arrogant, which it was, and which he was. So I don't know why he didn't want to sing it right away. But anyway, he did sing it, and it became certainly a top hit for him. But he definitely had a good voice. And New York, New York, everybody loves New York, New York, even if you're not from New York. But I like that whole genre of music too. Those big stars, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin. I can't think of his name, but just wonderful. The guy who sang Chicago. So they were really good singers, good entertainers.
Well, today we listen to a lot of Christian contemporary. They have some great artists like Phil Wickham. And what's Jeremy's last name?
Jeremy Camp.
Yeah, they have a lot of good artists.
Chris Tomlin.
And we listen to K-Love a lot.
Michael W. Smith.
And we love
Matt Redman.
We love their
Matt
music.
Moore.
But that brings up a question. The music, the Christian contemporary today, back when we're talking in the 50s, 60s, 70s, if it existed, we never listened to it, or we don't go back like that.
Well, yeah. That's a whole spiritual journey. But actually, in those days, I don't think the contemporary Christian music was as good as it is now. But
I think it was gospel. Just gospel. That's where Elvis Presley actually got his roots.
That's exactly right.
There's a lot of gospel, but we don't go back. We didn't listen to the gospel back then.
Right. Well, not we didn't, but I'm sure there are people out there who did, but we did not.
Yeah.
It was not a favorite of mine. But there are a lot of great gospel singers. CeCe Winan, the Gaither Band, a lot of really good gospel singers who are very popular even today.
Well, when you mentioned Robert W. Smith, is that his name?
Michael
W. Smith. He did a special and reminded me of a really, really wonderful singer, putting it mildly for this guy, is Andre Bocelli.
Oh.
What a voice. At Christmas, his specials, I love that guy. He can really sing.
Yes.
He's wonderful. I love his music.
Yes.
So we like a lot of different genres.
I mean, we do, yes. And even, how could you not think that the three tenors are not fantastic? I mean, if you're talking Andre Bocelli, those operatic singers are unbelievable. Yeah,
but Andre sings a lot of songs that are not opera oriented.
Yes.
Where like Domingo or they sing mostly opera songs, from what I hear.
Well, I was going to say, from what we're not big followers, so
right.
I don't know. I think they probably have some contemporary songs that they sing also, but it's just interesting how music can affect you. And there's a song for when you're sad, there's a song for when you're happy, there's a song for when you're in love, there's a song for when you're rejected, there's just wonderful. I remember, one of my favorite songs was, of course, coming from New York. And this was another group. I have one or two of their albums. But the 59th Street Bridge song, Simon and Garfunkel.
You have to sing it for me.
You don't know the
remember.
59th Street Bridge song?
Don't remember. I was never a big Simon and Garfunkel fan.
Oh, okay. Well, the tune's not coming to me right now, but it was. I used to follow them. Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme.
Well, I remember that one.
Yeah.
I remember that one.
And who were they feeling groovy? Who was feeling groovy?
No, it was somebody. It wasn't Simon and Garfunkel. They're not groovy. Somebody else. Now that's like a 60s song, Feeling Groovy, I think.
Yes, that is definitely like a 60s
So
song.
you do go way back.
So.
How about Yesterday? You remember that song?
Of course.
Time After Time.
Oh, that is, who is that? I met her. Cyndi Lauper?
I don't know.
I think that's Cyndi Lauper. Time After Time. I actually met her, and she was.
Well, you did some work on her album cover.
Not on her album cover, but she was helping us when I was in the sock business, and she was at a party to meet and greet people. I don't remember which sock brand it was. Oh, Gold Toe sock. She was at the party. I have a picture actually.
I've seen the picture.
But there was something else you said. What did you say?
I said Time After Time.
That was Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, I don't know. Who sang Against the Wind?
I don't know, and I'm not even getting a song in my head.
That was kind of a classic.
I don't know. Do you remember the tune?
Nope.
I don't know.
And I wouldn't sing it if I did. I might be talked into humming it, maybe, but not singing. I don't want to make people sick. So.
Wow. But, talk about 60s and hard times and that kind of thing. I mean, Elvis Presley's In the Ghetto. That was a very soulful song. Talking about the plight of people who grow up poor and how your life spirals when you don't get the right opportunities.
How about You'll Never Walk Alone?
That was the first song I ever sang in public.
Really? Wow.
And that was grammar school. And it was
what play did that come out of?
I don't know. But I had to learn it just to sing at this in the auditorium for some kind of celebration
Carousel.
That we were having. Oh, Carousel.
I just saw that.
Not one of my favorite shows, but I had to learn that song. It was the first song I ever sang in public. So, and I did a lot. There was a time when I actually thought I was going to be a performer, and but I went to one cattle call for a musical, and that was it. That was the first and last time I ever tried to do that.
You can't handle rejection.
Not that I can handle rejection, but if you've ever been to an audition for a Broadway show in Manhattan, there's a reason they call it a cattle call, because there probably were 1,000 people who showed up for this audition, and between the waiting and the nerves, you have to become a pro at just auditioning. But yeah, so I did a lot of coffee shops, coffee houses, and amateur theater and that kind of thing. But
you also sang on the cruise ship.
I sang on the cruise ship?
Yep. I don't remember what you said.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. One of the first cruises that we took together, there was a amateur night.
Right.
Sing off, and I sang.
She won by audience applause. Audience was like American Idol on the boat. The audience got to pick the winner. They picked her. She also won the Dancing of the Stars contest on the boat. She's quite talented.
That was years later.
She's quite
that
talented.
That was years later.
Yeah,
So.
you still got
But
it.
now
You still got
know,
it, baby.
So when you are auditioning, you have to define what you are. Are you an actress who sings? Are you a dancer who sings? Are you a singer who dances? Are you a singer who acts?
Oh my
You have
God.
to categorize yourself. In other words, in terms of what your primary attribute is. So anyway, send us your favorite songs. Let us know what brings you back to a time of happiness and joy, or something that just strikes your heart so much that you want to keep on remembering it. But I'm here to tell you that music will bring you to a time in your life that you will always, well, it can bring you to a time you always want to remember, or it can bring you to a time of sadness. But let music be your guide. Just keep music in your heart and lift it up in prayer. That's all. See you again for our next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.